Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hey, it's the Grind Guy. My name is John Stafford, originally from Brooklyn, New York. And we're going to talk about today wholesaling real estate and how I got started. Originally from Brooklyn, New York, I moved here and, had a lot of things going on. And when I got here, my passion was basketball. That's how I got here to Atlanta. That's how I got started in this real estate industry. I had a daughter 5 days after I graduated from high school, and a mentor, he came to me, he said, listen, man, I know your history, I kind of know your background, and, I don't want you to fall short of being a father. I want you to be a good father and support your daughter and take care of your family, be able to, create generational wealth, right? So he told me to meet him at his house on a Monday. This was a Friday. He told me to meet him at his house on a Monday at 10 o'clock, because at this time, this is 2000. I've been in this business, it'll be 21 years in May. So this is year 2000. In Georgia 400, we had tolls on 400. So you wanted to get out early enough, or you wanted to leave after the traffic. A lot of people in the rat race, they go to work every day, and you don't want to get caught in that traffic when you're out doing real estate. So he told me to be at his house at 10 o'clock. I was there at 6 o'clock in the morning. I was eager to learn the business and how I can provide some type of value to this guy. Okay, so he was like, he want to show me the business. All right, well, I'm going to add value. We going to ride in my car every day. I'm going to drive you around. You're going to show me the business. Cool, no problem. So for the first 3 months in the industry, my role was finding pre-foreclosure leads. So I would go down to the public notice, downtown Fulton County, go down to the public notice building, find out, what pre-foreclosures they had on the list for that week. And then I would go to the only REIA company that we had at the time, which was Georgia REIA. At that time, I would go analyze, do my due diligence, find out the homeowners. They had a system called Crisscross. And Crisscross was how you can find and look up owners and just do your due diligence on the property. At the time, that was $2,500. I'm getting started in real estate. I'm trying to feed my daughter. I don't have $2,500 to give to a system, right? So what I did was I would sit in this office building every single day doing due diligence. It was $200 for the year, okay? So I would sit in the office all day long. And while I'm sitting in the office doing my due diligence, I'm talking to everybody inside the building, because this is a real estate investment association. So you want to make sure that you're connected to your REIAs, because when you're getting information and business cards from everybody, when you finally get something under contract, you can get it sold. And that's exactly what happened. So 3 months, no money, busted and disgusted, family, everybody saying you can't do it, you can't do it, you might as well do something else, find a job, right? But I was willing to push through and find out how I can, how is this going to work for me? This man brought me this information. I want to show him I can do it too, right? My why was my daughter. See, when you get in a business like real estate, you got to have a why, right? That was my daughter. That was my why. That's how I got started. Now my daughter will be 22 coming this June. So that's how I got started in the business. I found my first deal inside of Georgia REIA, inside the REIA meeting. A guy saw me in there all the time. He said, listen, John, I see you in here all the time. What are you doing? I said, hey, man, I'm over here looking at these pre-foreclosures, And he said, you're looking at pre-foreclosures? I was like, yes. He was like, this is what you do. Mind you, I specialize in pre-foreclosures. I never did a deal yet, but you know what? I'm trying to make some things happen. If I got the right opportunity, see, when you put work in, opportunities are gonna come, but you gotta do what first? Put the work in. You gotta put the work in. You gotta be willing to do what others aren't doing, and that's me. So as you guys know, they call me the Grind Guy. You know why? Because I put in the work. I diligently put the work in. I'm gonna outwork everybody. Still to this day, 21 years in May, it'll be that I've been in this industry, and I'm still gonna outwork everybody, okay? So this guy brought an opportunity to me. He didn't know what to do. He said, listen, man, I got an opportunity. If you can close this deal and show me how to do this transaction, I'll split the profit with you. He said, I'll JV with you, which is a joint venture. I said, okay, cool. We go to the property. It's an elderly lady and her son. Her son is strung out at the time on drugs. And we go there and we sit down with the lady and we start talking. The first thing you want to do is find out the why they're selling, right? You want to find out a person's why before you get into anything as far as going to meet a homeowner. What's the problem? Because once you find out the why, your job is to find a solution. You're the problem solver. That's what we do in this business. I'm a problem solver. So I'm not coming to your house if you're not interested in selling. I want somebody that's motivated. So their problem was she was ill and she couldn't afford to take care of her son. He was just, they had a lot of issues going on at the time. And, we went under contract. I knew a guy prior to getting into real estate through basketball in school. And he said, when you got your first deal, to call him. So I called him, got my first deal in the contract. And what happened after that? He came directly to me. Back then, people would give earnest money to you in your hand. Here's earnest money in your hand, which earnest money is just a down payment to say that they're going to close. This is something that they'll get back at closing. Okay. So he gave me the $1,000 earnest money same day, about an hour after I called him about the deal, and we closed 2 weeks later. Okay. So 2 weeks. So within that time frame, starting starting point to 3 months, no money. My cell phone at the time was a Metro PCS. It got turned off. I had to borrow the money to get that phone back on. But at the time, it's going to either be some Pampers or cell phone, right? So I borrowed the money, got the Pampers, got the cell phone, got all of it, right? And we came up with this deal, this solution, this opportunity, because I still was putting in the work. I still found a way to put the work in. And here comes the opportunity. I went to the lady's house, got the deal on the contract, got the earnest money from a guy that I knew prior to getting in real estate. 2 weeks later, we closed. I made my first $10,000. That was my introduction to real estate. I made $10,000 on my first deal. What do you think happened after that? Hit the ground running. Legit made $10,000. I went and opened up a bank account. Didn't even have a bank account at the time. I'm 19 years old. Opened up a bank account, started moving and doing different things to do what? Help my business. I go to a Georgia RIA meeting that night. They have a general meeting every month. They had a guy that was speaking there. Me and my mentor were sitting in the back. This guy was a guru. Me and my mentor were sitting in the back, and they heard about the deal because, rewind. When you get a deal, you want to call all the people that you've ever came in contact with to sell the deal, right? The process is swift, fast, in a hurry. I need to close right away. Can you close tomorrow? That's how I move this deal, okay? So everybody heard about the deal in the Georgia RIA, the Real Estate Investment Club. Everybody heard about this deal. So I'm at this meeting, me and my mentor are sitting in the back, and they said, man, I wish I knew this 19-year-old kid that had this deal. He's under contract right now, but I heard about the deal, and he said it would be nice to meet him. Mind you, it's probably about a good 500 to 1,000 people in the room, okay? I stand up. My mentor looked at me. I looked at him. I stand up. I walk up there and shake the man's hand. That's the introduction to the game. After that meeting, you got people that are walking up to you with their checkbook saying, hey, John, find me a deal like that. I'll write you a check right now. So after that first deal, man, I hit the ground running, and I've been at it ever since. That's my introduction to real estate. What wholesaling is to me is that you're contracting a house with a seller, a motivated seller, and you're selling it to an end buyer. The remaining leftover comes to the wholesaler. That's what wholesaling is. So, example, you got a house over here for $50,000, right? House selling for $50,000, and it's worth $250,000, right? A lot of times what's going on is the house that's you're getting for $50,000 is a very damaged property. It could be several situations going on, behind on taxes, about to lose a home, inherited property from a family member. They can't keep up with the taxes. A probate, someone passed away. These are scenarios of getting these properties at $50,000, right? However, to get to the $250 is going to take some real extensive work if you're buying a house at $250,000 or you're buying a house at $50,000. It's going to take some extensive work to get it to $250,000, okay? So the contract with the seller, you get the contract with the seller for $50,000 and you sell it to your end buyer. You start at maybe 65, just depending upon the deal. This scenario, we're going to start at 65, 70. Let's just say 65, right? Your buyer goes and looks at the property. Hey, John, I'm interested in the property, right? So I got a contract with the seller. I'm giving you guys some game right here. I got a contract here with the seller, which is an A to B transaction, okay? A to B contract. B to C contract is with me and my buyer, Okay, so a lot of times what can happen in a wholesale transaction, and in most cases, when you're dealing with investor-friendly attorneys, the B2C contract is called pass-through funding. You're going to use that funding, the end buyer's funding, to close off your A to B. And what's left over comes to you as the wholesaler. Okay, so if the B2C agrees to the 65, then they'll pay 65,000, and you'll pay off the homeowner 50,000, and the remaining goes to you as the wholesaler. So that'll be a $15,000 profit. From acquisitions to closing, first thing you want to do to identify and find properties in real estate when you're wholesaling is driving for dollars. Driving for dollars is one of the easiest ways to find and locate properties. Driving for dollars is basically driving in an area and you're looking at houses that are eyesore to the community. And when you see houses that are eyesore to the community, you're actually seeing other houses that are being worked on. So you see dumpsters, you see people working on houses. Those are the addresses that you write down to go and identify and find the homeowner. Step one, find the homeowner. Once you go identify and find the homeowner, at that point, you want to skip trace the homeowner to find their phone number. That's step two. Okay, how you find a homeowner? You go to whatever tax assessor's website. So if you're in Fulton County, you're gonna go to Fulton County tax assessor's website. You're gonna find out who owns the house. Miss Johnson, Betty Johnson owns the house. Now you're gonna skip trace Betty Johnson and find her phone number, which could be several ways to skip trace. You can send it off to a team to skip trace. They have several websites, been verified, Locate Plus. It's a lot of ways to find the homeowner. Step four, you're gonna cold call the homeowner. Okay, when you cold call the homeowner, you wanna make sure that you're building what? Rapport with the homeowner. You always wanna make sure you build rapport first. This is not, you're asking somebody to actually sell you the property. So how do you do that? You wanna build rapport with the person, find out their why, find out the motivation, okay? And that's getting the house under contract. That's A. So the house is under contract with the homeowner, between you and the homeowner, you and the seller, okay? The seller on title. That's the A to B. Your B to C is between you and your end buyer. How do you find end buyers? I just told you. When you're driving for dollars and you're seeing the houses in the neighborhood being worked on, what you do is you go and you get business cards from those people, find out who's actually working on that house, or you can go inside the box. They have boxes where if you're renovating a home, you have to have your plans on site. You open a site, take a screenshot, find out who owns the property or who's renovating the property. That's your end buyer because they're buying and renovating in that area. Okay, so that's what you want to do. That's finding your end buyer. Now you just have to agree on a price. How do you do that? It's a formula called the Mayo formula. Okay, it's a maximum allowable offer. Okay, what that is 70% of the ARV. ARV is the after repair value. 70% of the ARV minus the repairs of the home. If you don't know the repairs of the home, you can talk to a contractor, get an estimate from a contractor on the exact repairs that are needed for the home. You may have to pay him a certain amount of money. However, you can add that into your deal. That's the A to B, B to C transaction. You agree on numbers, boom. You close out and you go get your check from your attorney. How do you find cash buyers? Okay, you find cash buyers several ways. You can find cash buyers. You go into your local RIA meetings. The RIA meetings are your Real Estate Investors Association meetings. Right now, we're in COVID, so make sure that when you can also use your social media platforms, but make sure you're vetting these cash buyers. Make sure you want to see the last house they renovated. You want to see proof of funds. You want to see certain things to know that these are validated cash buyers, and that's how you find cash buyers. You also can find cash buyers by going to closing attorneys' offices. You build relationships with your closing attorneys. Guess what? You can go and sit in the closing attorney's office and do work or anything that you have to do as far as admin. I found several I found several cash buyers in my closing attorney's office, closing deals. I build relationships with my attorneys. They tell the cash buyers, hey, John Stafford's one of the best wholesalers in Atlanta. You need to get his information. They give me the information, boom. Guess what we're doing? We're going back to that same closing attorney's office, and we're closing the transaction at that attorney's office. So it's a win-win, and we creating every situations for everybody to eat. Again, everybody eats real estate. The difference between a wholesaler and a real estate agent. Okay, everybody wants to know this. This is a secret sauce I'm giving y'all, all right? Real estate agent, they typically, they show homes, right? They're showing homes to end buyers or end people that are buying homes that have been already renovated or that are retail, okay? That's the real estate agent side. It is some investor-friendly real estate agents. I suggest every real estate agent become investor-friendly because there's so much on the other side. Talk to your broker, make sure you're good to be able to do that, because you guys do have laws and restrictions on some things when you're a real estate agent. However, the investor wholesaler, there's no, everything's binding in your contract, okay? Everything's binding in that agreement. You can make as much as you want to. You don't have to pay out any commissions, any fees, anything like that. So that's the difference between a real estate agent and a wholesaler. Real estate agent most of the time is going to list the home, and they'll list the home after it's been renovated, but the wholesaler is just making money in between. We operate on the same terms, but the real estate agent has to pay a commission to her broker or to his broker. Real estate investor, you don't have to do anything.